Hello, everybody. Welcome to Heart and Soul Conversations. Thank you for joining me tonight. In the event you're seeing me for the first time or catching me via the replay, my name is Corey J, and I am your surviving narcissism specialist and transformational life coach, and I help people strategically transform their lives after surviving narcissistic abuse and other toxic relationships. So welcome to what I like to call the Survivor's Lounge, where survivors like you can come on in, have a safe place to share your story, hear the stories of other people, get the healing that you need, and pass it and pay it forward, okay? So tonight, and thank you guys for tuning in, seriously. For those of you who are watching, please comment, hello, say hi, so I can acknowledge you as you are joining me tonight. Tonight, I just really want to talk about something real, guys. The realities of healing from toxic relationships or toxic people, okay? Because let's face it, we've all been around people who have been toxic. We've even been a little toxic ourselves because we've been in toxic relationships, and we pick up certain behavioral patterns just to survive most of the time when we're involved in these relationships. But I just want to be real tonight. You know, I started doing this about a year or so ago because I was in this kind of relationship. I was in a narcissistically abusive relationship, and it wasn't always awful. In the beginning, it seemed to be great, but then it turned bad because that's what happens with narcissism and narcissistic people. You know, after a while, you see the real them. The mask tends to come off. And that's like any toxic relationship. You know, in the beginning, you're in the honeymoon phase, and then it turns into what they really want you to see in the first place because they want the monster that they really are most of the time. So tonight, I just really want to talk about the realities of healing because a lot of us don't do the work. Let's be real, guys. A lot of us do not do the work. Hey, Tina Marie, thank you for watching. We either go to therapy or we go to our pastors, we go to our leaders, we go to our friends, and we ask for help, we ask for advice, but we don't listen. We don't take the advice that's given. We don't pay attention to what's being said. We don't even listen to our own inner dialogue that is speaking to us. We don't listen to the God in us that is saying, hey, you don't need to be there anymore, or leave that person. Hey, pretty lady, so happy that you're doing well. Thank you so much, Tina Marie. I appreciate you so much. Hey, Joe Carter, thank you for watching. And today I just really want to talk about the realities of healing. We don't do the work. We don't take the time to do what we're supposed to do, what we know to do when it comes to getting over something, when it comes to healing. There are many different phases, guys, but the first phase we have to go through when it comes to healing is the admitting that we need help, admitting that there's an issue, admitting that you may need some sort of recovery time. We don't do that. We do not take the time for self-preservation after coming out of a toxic relationship. We don't even want to admit that we're in an abusive relationship. I know I didn't. I didn't want to admit that I was being abused. I didn't want to admit that I was in such a toxic, volatile environment after a while because I didn't want the sense of failure. I didn't want to have another failed relationship under my belt. How many of you can relate to that? You know what I'm saying? You don't want to admit that you're in something awful because you don't want to, either you don't want to be alone or you don't want to face the reality that it's not working. We can't heal that way. We can't get better that way. We can't take the next step in our lives or in our destiny to be who we are that way. What I'm doing now started from a place of pain, and I'm just going to be completely transparent. Started from a place of pain. But I took that pain and I turned it into purpose. I took that pain and I let it drive me to be a better woman, to be a better mother, to be a better businesswoman, to be a better partner to my mate. I let it drive me to be a better friend, a better family member, you know? I let it drive me to be better and to share the information that I was given so that other people can get the healing that they need. I didn't stay in that place of pain. I didn't stay in that place of being stuck. Hi, Alan, thank you for watching. Let's admit a lot of us, we stay in toxic situations, either because we're a little bit toxic ourselves or because we don't know who we are apart from the pain. We don't know who we are apart from the arguments. We don't know who we are apart from that toxic environment. Either we grew up in toxic environments, so toxicity is all we know, Or we've been in one toxic relationship after the next, after the next, after the next, and we don't know how to cope outside of something that is traumatic. Some people are drawn to drama. Some people are drawn to traumatic situations because that's all they know. But listen, in order to really be your best self and to live your best life, you first have to recover from the trauma of the damage of the past. A lot of us hold on to the past like a crutch. A lot of us hold on to the pain like a crutch. You hold on to it, you're walking with it, you're traveling with it, you're going to work with it, you're going into new relationships with it, and you don't want to let it go. And then you expect the other person to change because nothing's wrong with you, it's all the other person, when the reality of it is you. You've brought all your baggage into this new relationship, and you expect the other person to carry that weight that belongs to you. That's unfair. It's unfair to people around you. It's unfair to yourself to expect other people to change and not acknowledge the pain that's inside of you. The reality of healing from any toxic relationship is that it's gonna hurt. It is going to hurt. It is going to break you all the way down. And I mean down to the point where you might get depressed. You might not feel like eating for a couple days. You might not want to be around people. You might not feel like going to work. You might feel a little suicidal because the pain that you've been hiding inside is finally coming out. You're finally dealing with what you've kept inside, what you've kept hidden. You know, when you sweep something under a rug, right? When you sweep in the dirt on the wooden floor and you're sweeping under a rug because you don't feel like getting the dustpan and throw it in the garbage, there's still a mountain of dirt underneath that rug that you eventually trip over because it's there, right? So what tends to happen is you take all of your stuff that's on the inside of you that you've been needing to deal with for a very long time, and it's just bubbling up. It's piling up because you're going from one toxic situation to the next, one toxic person to the next, one toxic job to the next, and you're not dealing with it until it gets to about here, and you just explode, and all that toxicity is projected onto innocent people who don't deserve it. Come on now, let's be real. How many of you have spewed your toxicity onto other people who didn't deserve it because you were toxic on the inside, because you didn't want to deal with your shit? Pardon my language, those of you who go to church and but I'm being real tonight. Speak says, thank you, Tina Marie. That is something that has been on my heart all week long. We don't deal with our stuff, but we expect other people to deal with us. How fair is that? That's a part of the reality of healing, is dealing with yourself first. Dealing with the fact that you may be more toxic than the person you were with, and you made them toxic because of your own crap. A part of the reality of healing is admitting where you're wrong. Admitting the fact that maybe you stayed too long. You saw the signs, but you didn't pay attention. You saw the red flags, but you made them green in your own head because you wanted to go forward with that situation anyway. You heard God talking to you on the inside, but you didn't listen because you wanted that to be God speaking to you about this person being the one so bad that you stayed and you made yourself stuck and tied to a person who wasn't for you. How many have you have done that? More than once. Okay? Why? Because I didn't want to be by myself, and I didn't want to admit that. I didn't want to be single. I didn't want to be alone. I didn't want to deal with the loneliness. I didn't want to deal with feeling abandoned. Those were my issues that I brought into many relationships that I was in. Well, I can't say many because I didn't have a whole lot in my life, but I feel like it though. So I really just want to I'm coming from a place of love. I really am. Because right now is the opportune time for us to deal with our shit. It's our opportune time to deal with our crutches. It's an opportune time to deal with our ailments, to deal with what's holding us back from success, with what's holding us back from true love, with what's holding us back from making things right with our partner, deal with it. Now is the time to deal with it. Our problem as human beings is that we expect other people to deal with it for us. We want other people to make us feel better. We want other people to make us happy. We want other people to do our due diligence for us, and that's not how it works. In the Bible, I remember a story about a lame man who was sitting in the gates waiting for somebody to come and heal him. And the apostles walked by, I believe it was Peter and Paul, and they walked, I could be wrong, some of y'all correct me, but I know Peter was one of them. And he walked by the man, and the man, was begging for them to do something for him. And Peter said to him, pick up your bed and walk. You do it yourself because you're capable. We don't take the time, guys, to realize how capable we are of dealing with our own crap. We are strong. You are stronger than you think. You are stronger than you believe you are to deal with the pain inside of you so that you can really heal, so that you can really live your purpose. Turn that pain into purpose, bro. Turn that pain into purpose, sis, because it's time now for you to let go of the crutches and to be free to be who you are. And you can't do that with crutches in your hand. You can't do that with carrying those bags. Erykah Badu, bag lady, you gon' hurt your back, carrying all the bags like that. Hey, Aaron, thank you for watching. But it's so true. You can't walk around carrying those bags. And what else did she say in the song? You gonna run somebody away coming with all the bags? Come on now, it's true. Some of you are wondering why you don't have the ideal relationship. Some of you are wondering why you can't land that job. Some of you are wondering why patterns repeat themselves. Well, this is the prime opportunity to put your big girl panties on and your big boy drawers on, stand in the mirror and say, it's you. It's not the people around you. Once you realize who somebody is and you believe who they are, then you have to start dealing with yourself. You have to start dealing with you. You have to start dealing with you. Oh, thank you, Tina. I be trying, sometimes I even have had to deal with my, the levels of healing because I have a broken nose. My ex broke my nose. And I haven't been able to sing the same since because I sound so nasally now when I sing, and I resented him for the longest time because of that. Hey, Kim, thank you for watching. And then I had to get to the point through my healing journey to accept the fact that, well, sister girl, if you hadn't stayed so damn long, he wouldn't have been around to break your nose. I had to take responsibility for my own doing and my own actions in that relationship. Yes, it was toxic. Yes, it was volatile. But guess what? I stayed way too long out of fear of being by myself. Hey, Shanette, thank you for watching. I stayed out of fear, as well as some other things. He was stealing money from me and stealing business and all this other stuff. So I felt obligated. I need to do my due diligence and get that man back. No, I didn't need to do that. Hey, Marlene, thank you for tuning in. What I should have done as I was realizing what was going on was just simply let go of those crutches and set myself free immediately. But that's not what I did. And the reason that I held on to my crutches of pain for so long, because that's what I came from. My parents had a volatile and toxic marriage. Then I had a volatile and toxic marriage. Then every relationship after that mirrored what I was in. I didn't know who I was apart from being in something toxic and abusive. I attracted myself to abusive people because that's all I knew at the time. So it took a long time for me to turn and to look in the mirror and say, oh girl, you need to change who you are on the inside so that you can attract what you want on the outside. Attract people who cater to the inside of you. And I couldn't do that because I was walking around with crutches of pain, with all my bags. Hey, Rochelle, thank you for watching. I was walking around with so much baggage and so much drama and just so much hurt on the inside of me that I wanted somebody else to fix me. I wanted somebody else to make me feel better. I wanted somebody else to heal the brokenness inside of me. And the reality of healing is, guys, nobody else can do that but you. You first have to acknowledge that you need to be healed because something is broken inside of you. If your heart has been broken, you need to be healed. If you've been in toxic relationships and toxic situations, you need some healing on the inside. Because something was damaged along the way. Something broke inside of you along the way. And you are kidding yourself if you say, oh, I'm good. No, you're not. He just beat you the hell up. You ain't fine. You just beat her down. You are not good. Or you allowed her to beat you down. Whether it's verbally, physically, emotionally, or mentally. You allowed somebody to take pieces of you with them every time they laid their hands on you, every time they laid their words on you, every time they were toxic toward you in some way, shape, or form. You allowed it. You allowed it. Hey, Coco, thank you for tuning in. Baby, you're preaching to the choir. Thank you for your transparency. Thank you, Tina Marie. Seriously, I have to be right now because I'm tired of playing games. I'm tired of playing games. Seriously, I am tired of playing games. Healing is no joke. Your future is no joke. The Bible talks about speak those things that be not as though they were. And if you grew up in church, you heard it your whole life. I know I did, right? So we grow up and we repeat those words. I'm speaking, I'm believing, child, claiming, naming, and claiming. I'm pulling it down off the atmosphere. Right? But we fail to realize the very thing that needs to come first is a heart check. The very first thing that needs to happen before you can claim and name anything and pull it down out of the heavens is the fact that you even need something like healing. You need help. You need God to breathe new life into you. We go to the altar and ask God for everything but what we need. God, fix him. God, fix her. No, Jesus, fix me. Create a clean heart within me. Isn't that what we spend time listening to and saying amen to and hallelujah? Preach. Yes, that's what we do because I did it. Shanette, you are absolutely correct. Thank you, Shanette. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Seriously, if you're coming in for the first time, again, my name is Corey J. And right now we are talking about the realities of healing. And the first reality of healing is admitting you need help. Admitting you need help. And you know what? For me, at the time, going to church wasn't my help. It wasn't what I needed. I needed something more than that. I needed people to pray for me, yes. But I needed something more than just somebody telling me to go to the altar. I was about to die. Do you understand? I wanted to take my own life because I had no understanding of the value and the worth of me. I had no understanding completely of my purpose. I knew that I was called to something, but I didn't realize how great it was. I didn't realize how valuable I really am. I didn't realize. I wanted to die. I was dying on the inside. And I was scared to admit it because of what other people might think about me. I was scared to say, I am dying and I need more than somebody telling me about Jesus. I need help. That helped, but I needed more than just that. I needed Jesus and a doctor. And sometimes we get so religious, guys, that we forget that God gave us doctors. God gave us people who can write prescriptions to help balance us out. Because sometimes that's all we need is a chemical balance. And the older we get, ladies, y'all know our hormones are out of whack and we just seem to go a little bit more cuckoo. The older we get because of our hormone imbalance, and sometimes we need a little bit extra something to help, and it's okay. Everything is not the devil. Everything ain't demons. Everything isn't, darkness from, the way they teach it in church. But we have darkness inside of us because we have a hard heart, and we don't want to admit that our heart is hard. I'm bitter. I'm angry. I'm mad. I'm mad at God. I'm mad at my mama. I'm mad at my daddy. I'm mad at my grandparents because they didn't do nothing. I'm mad at everybody. I'm mad at myself. We are afraid to admit that we're angry. But we walk around projecting that anger onto other people and thinking and talking about something. We're good. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm fine. No, sweet boo-boo. No, you're not. We are not okay. And right now, going through all of these changes that our world is going through right now, how many of you are really sitting back, facing the reality of your life, facing the reality of what's in your heart, facing the reality of that broken relationship, of that broken marriage, of your broken heart? Right now, you have no choice but to deal with you. Hey, Kevin, thank you for watching. I encourage all of you to take a minute during this time where we are quarantined. You know, some of us are still going to work, but at the same time, we can't go anywhere else once we're home from work, right? Take stock of your own heart. Ask God to search the chambers of your heart that have been hidden even from yourself. Because let's face it, you know, when we go through traumatic situations, we bury things. We bury the memory of that trauma. We bury the memory of that hurt because it hurt really bad. You could have lost a loved one or a parent or something and it hurt really bad. So you buried that and you move on and you say that you're okay. You won't be okay until you grieve. You will not be able to heal until you grieve that loss. And even in relationships, when we break up and when we divorce, it's still a grieving process. My marriage was hell 20 years ago. I've been divorced 21 years. Hell! But let me tell you, on the day I signed those divorce papers, I cried because it was a moment where I realized I was broken. I still needed to heal. My marriage failed. I was married to the wrong person anyway, so that was bound to happen. Everybody told me, but I didn't want to listen. So I brought unnecessary pain upon myself at a very young age. I'm only 42. So yeah, I got married very young. And I had my oldest son very young. And then I brought my child into that toxicity. So guess what he grew up with? Toxic parents. And then we want to look at our children who we raise after our own likeness, right? Toxic people breed toxic people. We don't want to admit that though. Our children are replications of who we are. Of who we are. So if we're walking around damaged, broken, and spewing unforgiveness, bitterness, and all this other stuff and anger onto other people, our children are watching that. And then guess what they grow up to do? The same thing. My oldest son used to hear his father say certain things to me, and as he got older, he used to repeat those same things to me, and I'm, whoa, let's check that. And I used to get mad at his father. He's just like you. You put him like, you made him like that. I can't, yada, yada. Y'all know, I know I'm not the only person who tried to do that. I know I'm not the only person who's done that. I've done that, I will admit that. I blame my ex-husband for a whole lot of stuff that my son grew up saying and talking about and doing. When the reality was, it wasn't just my ex-husband's fault, it was mine too. Because my son didn't just see his father being toxic, he saw his mother responding to toxic behavior and becoming toxic too, but we didn't want to admit that. No, our pride and our ego won't let us admit that sometimes we are just as toxic as the toxic people we get into relationships with. Hey, thank you for watching LaCoy's. Omar, just call you Omar. That's okay. Thank you for tuning in. The reality of healing is that you got to admit your part. It's not everybody else's fault all the time. You can't be bitter and then ask God to bless you. You can't be angry and then expect the universe to bring those things that you're praying for. You have to clean your slate, and that means dealing with the hurt and the pain of all of it. Again, I allowed my pain to birth my purpose. And my purpose has been to help other people heal. I've been through so much stuff, trauma, relationship, molestation, rape. I've been through it all, abuse, physical abuse, adultery. I've been through it all. And I'm still here in my right mind, only because I finally picked up a mirror and decided to face myself. I was my biggest enemy. Not the other people who hurt me. Not the man who broke my nose. Not Dr. Who. Me. Because I allowed people to devalue me. I allowed people to see that I didn't value myself. And so guess what? We teach people how to treat us, right? So I taught them that I wasn't worth a dime to myself. So why would they treat me any better than I treated me? Why? Hey, Wakita, thank you for tuning in. Why would they? I'm sending you an ebook. Thank you so much, Tina. I appreciate that. I gave myself the gift of healing. I gave myself the gift of reality, a reality check. Little girl, it ain't all everybody else's fault. It's you. I was damaged and broken and hurt from childhood to adulthood and expected everybody along the way to fix me. And the only person that could face that reality to fix what was inside of me was me. I had to go to God for myself. I had to do my own soul work. I had to do it for myself. Wow, if not for the grace of God, amen, Aaron. Seriously. But I had to realize that I had to admit it. Guys, we have to get to a place where we are admitting. I get phone calls where I hear, in the beginning of coaching, a lot of times I just let people talk, okay? And so what I hear most of the time is the blame of the other person. And I allow that because we need to get it out, right? We need to get it out, blame them. It's their fault, right? And then I ask some questions. Well, what did you do to contribute to that behavior? And then I hear more and more and more, hey Randy, thank you for watching, love. I hear more and more and more of what the other person did. I hear more and more of what they didn't do. I hear more and more of the other person and less of how that person contributed to their own drama. And people stop liking me because I take the focus off the other person and I turn it onto themselves. Because at the end of the day, I can't help you heal if you don't recognize you need it. I can't help you. And so I really look to work with people who are ready to do the work, who are ready to pull their pants up, you know what I'm saying? And get down and dirty with their own shit. Because it's dirty, it's nasty, it's ugly, it's painful, it's going to be gruesome because you're grieving your past, you're letting go of your crutches so that you can move forward into your purpose. So you can move forward into God's plan for your life. So you can move forward into the vision that you have. We all do vision parties and we have vision boards and we have whiteboards and we look at all and we have these big dreams, right? And we are wondering why we cannot accomplish those dreams that we have, those visions that we have, why we can't go to the next level. Well, you have a lot weighing you down. You have a lot of hurt weighing you down. You have a lot of pain weighing you down. You have a lot of garbage weighing you down from taking the next step to the next level. You have a lot stopping you from having hinds feet. How many of you read that book when you were young? Hinds feet and hinds place in high places. Okay? You can't jump if you're weighted down. You know, Steve Harvey has a book called Jump, right? And we all listen to all the celebrities and how they jumped and how they just moved forward, how they just did it. Well, you know what? Every last person who's talked about their experiences had to go through a healing journey first. Because they had to realize that there was something that was blocking them. There was something that was weighing them down. There was something that was in the way. And guess who it was? Guess what it was? It was them. It was their own ego. It was their own selfishness. It was their own pride that was in their way of having that relationship, having that marriage, having that business, making six figures, enjoying their job, enjoying their children. Hey, Darren, thank you for watching. There are so many of us that don't even enjoy being parents. I was one of those people, and I'm going to be completely transparent. I hated being a single mother. Hated it with a capital H. Hated it. I never wanted to be a single parent, and when I made the choice to become a single parent, I resented myself for a very long time. And I wasn't the best mom that I could be because I hated being a single parent. I didn't realize that I had issues around parenting because of my own parents. Randy, you won't be able to make any moves unless you release what's holding you back and not pushing you forward. Absolutely, Randy, I agree. You can't. And I couldn't enjoy motherhood until I allowed myself to take my healing journey and heal from what was holding me back from the past and what was holding me back now. Would I encourage anybody to be a single parent? No, don't do it, okay? Because it's hard as hell. However, I enjoy motherhood so much more now. And my relationship with my sons are so much better now than what they were 5 years ago. Because I allowed myself to first admit that I hated being a single parent, and that I needed healing from whatever was causing me to feel that way. Guys, we have to do the work. And I'm looking for people to work with me who are ready to do your soul work, who are ready to get on that journey to healing for real. I don't want to always hear about the other person. Do I need to know what you've been through? Absolutely. But I want you to come to me when you're ready for coaching and when you're ready to get on your journey to healing, ready to do the work. I play no games. Hey, Eddie, thank you for watching. When it comes to healing, I'm not an easy coach. And people who know me, I guess, think that because I know them, that I'm going to be different when it comes to coaching. Absolutely not. Because it is my job, it is my duty, and it is my purpose to make sure that you get what you need, what you came to me for. You didn't come to me as a friend. You came to me because I'm a coach. You came looking for healing. You came looking for something that you needed. And that's my purpose and my job and my heart's desire to give it to you. I'm ready, ready, ready. Shanette will send me your email, and I will send you a link where we can book a call to get you started on your journey to healing. Because right now is the best time. I promise you, you won't regret it. It's not going to be easy. It is not going to be easy. It's 16 weeks of boot camp. 16 weeks of going hard, digging deep, and getting out of that rut that you're in when it comes to healing. I've been there. Nights where I'm just crying. I look like a zombie some days because I go to bed 4 o'clock in the morning and have to get up at 6 because I spent most of the night crying, writing, praying, asking. Listen, I was trying to survive. Figure out, God, okay, I'm here today. I want to be here tomorrow, so what do I need to do to get there? This is real talk, guys. I don't mind sharing my story and being transparent if it helps one person. Seriously, God brought me through it all so that somebody else can get through it too. You don't have to go through it alone. You don't have to go through it by yourself. I'm right here. It's not easy. But when you have somebody to cry with, it feels so much better sometimes. When you have somebody you can call at any time, it makes that next step a little bit easier. I'm sorry I'm getting so emotional. But I remember what it was like. And I can't say I didn't have anybody, but God strategically put people in my life that I could call at 2 o'clock in the morning when I wasn't sure if I wanted to make it to see 5 o'clock. So I want to be that person for the next person who needs to say, hey, I'm feeling like I want to swallow this bottle of pills right now. Please talk to me until I fall asleep. I'm that coach. My hours aren't just 9 to 5. It's whenever you need me. Because when you're going through traumatic healing like that, when you're going through your healing journey, you need somebody who's always there. That's the coach that I am. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for getting emotional. Jeanette, it's not easy. No, it's not. But let me tell you, it's worth it. Being on this side of healing is worth the 1.5, 2 years that I had to go through. And even at the end of last year, sometimes I have to shut things down. I had to isolate at the end of last year because I really had to go through my last final phase of just getting it out. And then admitting my part in just dealing with whatever it was that I had to deal with. And I'm so grateful that I allowed myself that opportunity to take the time that I did to get over my own self. To get out of my ego, to get out of my pain, to get out of the redundant, the repetition of stuff that is not relevant to my life today. Doctor Who is who he is. He did what he did. I've been in that relationship for years. Why was this still affecting me? Because I allowed it. I had to finally say, you know what, enough is enough. I'm over it. I really am. People who hurt us, they move on quickly. We're the ones stuck with the baggage because we want to relive every single moment of what they did. That's not a part of healing. Healing is admitting, yep, it was fucked up, part of my language. It was jacked up. It was messy. I was petty. They were petty. But I'm ready to change now. You know, I'm ready to grow up. I'm ready to be the person that I was meant to be. That's the place where I had to get to. I had to grow up, guys. There's something that I wrote some time ago called Growing Up 40 when I turned 40. And I said growing up 40 because I didn't realize how immature I really was at the time. And even going into, you know, about to be 43 next month, I still had to realize that there were some things about me that I still needed to change. And I still had to grow and mature, you know? But I'm grateful that I was able to recognize those things about me. I can't ask for a husband if I'm not willing to be a wife first. And there's certain things that wives do. See, a lot of times we have it misunderstood. We want to become the wife after we get married, after the wedding. No. We prepare for marriage before the wedding. We become that wife before the wedding. And that means our behaviors change. Hey, Trisha, that means our ideas change. That means our toxicity needs to go away. The healing needs to take place. We need to be healthy, well, and whole, mind, body, heart, and soul, long before we say I do. You don't want to bring your brokenness into your marriage, because then you'll have a broken marriage and you'll be wondering why you got married. You could have been married to the right person, but you made it so toxic it seemed like you married the devil. Let's deal with our issues and right now, guys. Let's take the time to look in the mirror. I call it mirror ministry. When you get in that mirror and you minister to yourself, okay? You talk to yourself about the things that you need to change. Recognize your issues and deal with them. It's not up to anybody else to make us happy. Happiness comes from within. And happiness can only come from within if we are really willing to deal with the things that are making us unhappy. Guys, again, I am looking to work with people who are really serious about healing right now. Put your email in the comments below and I will send you a link where you can book a call with me, a 15-minute discovery call on what recovery is going to look like for you. People, recovery, it is recovery. When you're coming out of a toxic relationship, when you're dealing with issues of the heart from toxic people, whether it's your parents, whether it's your spouse, whether it's your mate, whether it's your baby daddy, your baby mama, it's still a recovery process. Healing is recovery. So take that time. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to your children. You owe it to your destiny to do this. You owe it to those people who need you to do this. Hey, Rosie, thank you for watching. So book a call with me and we will go ahead and get you guys scheduled to set out a plan, a strategy for the 16-week Heart and Soul Academy, Healing Academy challenge. That's going to be a challenge. We'll get you registered for it because it is something. And I promise you at the end of it, you're going to be like a different person. You're going to look back and go, wow, I made it through this. I can't believe it. Now you're going to be ready to help other people and to pay it forward. You're going to be ready to step into your destiny. You're going to be ready. I guarantee you, at the end of that 16 weeks, you're going to be ready to be your best self. And the only way you can be your best self, guys, is and the only way you can live your best life is to be your best self. And the only way you can do that is to be true to who you really are. To thine own self be true, because that is the only way you can truly be you. And it is my goal that we be healthy, well, and whole, mind, body, heart, and soul. Tina, I see your email and I will get you that link as soon as this live is over. I want to thank you all for really tuning in to Heart and Soul Conversations tonight. Please watch for the podcast that's coming up tomorrow. Talking about something similar, but also talking about the things that narcissists hate the most, and continuing on with this series on the reality of healing, because that is what's most important right now in this time. Thank you all so much again for tuning in. Share this information with somebody who you know might need it along with yourself. I appreciate you guys' love and support. Share, like, and continue to support. And I will be here for you 100% when you need me. Again, I'm Corey J. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time, ciao.